So let's talk about home care. In my mind, there are four types of care at home, four ways, four categories of home care, if you will. And what is home care? Home care is taking care of somebody's personal needs. So, activities of daily living, what that comes out to is helping me get out of bed, helping me get into maybe a wheelchair if I need to, or use a walker to walk, help me go to take a shower, toilet, and then either help me clean up or clean me up, etc. And then get dressed after a shower or a bath and help me eat if I need help. Really, all of those different pieces, right? Just simple, basic, not simple, but basic activities that are core to just be able to like live my day. That does not give me quality of life. It just cleans me up. So I have the ability to now have a better quality of life, right? To engage and hopefully have some fun and all that. So those are activities of daily living, right? In layman's terms, rather than the way industry people talk about it. So the four types of home care. One, just like us, private agency or a private pay agency, which means any agency is delivering care at home or wherever home is, helping you with your ADLs, activities of daily living, and maybe some other independent activities of daily living, helping you cook, helping you go to the store, grocery store, things like that, right? So an agency is involved. Why an agency? An agency is regulated by the state. We have insurance, which covers general liability, professional liability, workers' comp, theft, abuse, like both on the sexual as well as any other type of abuse, and just creating a safe environment so that whoever's coming into the house, you're protected from. If there's any liability, then the company has it, the agency has it. We do background checks, so you don't have to do it, drug tests, things like that, right? So that's why it's an agency model. Now, it doesn't have to be private pay. It could be Medicaid, which pays for it, the quality difference and all that, but still, that's one type. Second type is private caregivers. Instead of hiring agency, you hire somebody privately, and however way you find them, and that person, you're paying them directly. They most of the time don't have any insurance. They have no protection, and frankly, the biggest part of the protection is protection for you as a family member, as a client, as the person, the recipient of the care. You want to make sure that if something happens while taking care of you, that the other person doesn't get injured. And if they do, then you're not liable, right? That's really the protection piece of it. Or they're cooking and something happens and they get burnt, or there's a fire or something like that. So there's protection for them, right? Or they get injured because they were trying to move you and you fell, they hurt their back, etc. So that's private. That's private caregiver, which is you find them directly, you hire them directly, you pay them directly. Most of the time it's cash, but it could be other ways. So that's number two. The third one is something we call registry. Registry is, how do you find these people? So you go through a registry. The registry is basically a place where you register a name or you log your name. And that's how you find them. You go to the registry as a client and you see who is out there. You call a few people and then, you decide who you like, right? So there is a little bit of regulation, little bit, not really regulated, but there's some level of quality, but not really, because ultimately the registry is just making the connection between me as a client and Julie, for example, as a caregiver, and so that we can establish that relationship. And essentially, that's how we took care of our grandmom she was bedbound for 12 years. So that's how it was done. India at that point in time did not have the regulated agency model. And I believe that they do now, but at most of the time that I've been aware in the past, they did not. And so this registry model worked well. It has a different name in India, but same concept. Right? That's number three. The last one is a newer model. It's like the Uber model. So I need help. I call somebody, they'll come. just maybe for, like as needed kind of a aspect of it, or it might be an ongoing piece of it, but it's more ad hoc, right? It's not a consistent model. So which one is the best model? There is no best model. The best model is what model is best for you. Best as in from a quality standpoint, but also best as in from a financial standpoint, best as in what I'm comfortable with. So when somebody says this is the only way to do that, which is private, agencies or private caregivers or registry or this and that, no, there isn't. It's really about what makes sense for me, right? So I just wanted to talk about those four, different types of care models, home care models. Let's dive in a little bit. Let's talk about this agency model or any of these models. The person who's caring for you, they may or may not have education. Education, I don't mean like literacy education, but education about how to take care of somebody. Now, I might be a caregiver and I take care of Mr. Tom, and I've learned how to take care of people, by taking care of other people, or as I take care of Mr. Tom, I realize, oh, I need to do this, I need to change this. So I become better at it and I become a good caregiver, right? It takes some time. It's not an immediate thing. There are some courses I can take online. I can watch Deepest Snow. I can learn things and things like that. So when I'm left by myself, I know what I know. I don't know what else might be out there unless I go out and looking for it. So an agency comes into play where they create some trainings and all of that. But even that doesn't go far enough, because how I give Tom a shower is not the same how I give Woody a shower, right? Because Woody might have a stroke and the right side is paralyzed, or maybe there's an issue on the right side. So I need to be careful about how to take care of Woody versus Tom. He has Parkinson's, for example, or he has dementia. So how I take care of him will be different, right? And that awareness is huge. It's a very, very important distinction to have. And so, for example, our agency, we have a supervisor who goes out and learns about each of our clients and knows how to take care of them, and then teaches our care assistants, we call them care assistants, how to adjust, tweak, personalize care for each individual. It's really important. Now, I'm not saying only agencies do that. Anybody can do that, but I wanted to make you aware that one of the questions you should ask is, how do you do some training? How do you educate, your people? Yeah? No matter which model you're using. So, wanted to talk about that. The other piece of it I wanted to touch upon is money. Some people think agencies are useless. They're just basically making profits like crazy, and the money actually doesn't go to the real people who provide the care. Well, that's not completely true. There's some truth to it, but not all of it. Agencies have a lot of what do you call it? Expenses, right? So to have these kind of insurances, it's a lot of money, which is why most individual caregivers don't have any of it. So that's an important piece. Agencies provide oversight. There is liability involved. If something happens, they don't do something right, the state will come after them. So there's pros and cons of all aspects of it. Let's talk about money for a second. Agencies, the industry average profit percent in home care is about 7 point some, let's say 8%, right? So you're making 8% profit after all of the work that you do. And a lot of agencies are really not profitable. They think they are, but they don't. When you actually do the books, you might realize, at 8%, if something happens, that money is gone. It's not like you're sitting on, tens and thousands of dollars and you can, or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you can take care of things, when something happens. You cannot. So agencies are not this profitable institution that you think they are. There's costs associated with it, especially when it becomes a franchise model. If you're non-franchise, then there's some wiggle room out there, right? So just to recap then, there are 4 ways to provide care. The caregivers are not it's not like they're getting paid badly. They are getting paid. A certain percent of the money that we get from clients goes towards our expenses to running the company, to educate our people, to have a staff, the management team, to oversee the care that is really important, so that you're just not getting a caregiver, you're actually getting oversight of it. So there's an issue, you can talk to somebody who's not going to be there taking care of you next day, so you don't feel vulnerable, right? So, and there's all of that piece of it. Again, our website is certaintyandhope.com. Come and check out the page, which is around care options, if you will, home care options, home care services, and that'll give you some really in-depth information about what is important to you, rather than what companies have to sell. Because after a while, it doesn't matter what companies have to sell; it's what's important to you. Certaintyandhope.com. Have an excellent day.